Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, Dr. Susan Menares reveals the shocking demands she said led her to abruptly exit as CDC director. Plus, blocking roads during protests could soon land you in jail. Michigan lawmakers are pushing for tougher penalties. And a Marquette County Board Commissioner has resigned. We'll hear how his spot will be filled. Your 19 News at 6 starts now.
Live from the UP. This is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
Kelly, good evening. I've been enjoying the warmer temperatures, but I think they're going down pretty soon.
Yeah, Kevin, we have been kind of spoiled with those well above average temperatures given that we are into the final days of summertime here, but we're still hanging on to the sunshine. And yes, we will start to transition into some cooler temperatures soon. And we are seeing a few showers and storms kind of contained at the moment to the Iron Mountain area and southern portions of the Upper Peninsula. Temperatures, though, very comfortable. Still 70 degrees for Marquette, 83 down to Menominee as those showers making its way down towards that area will cool things down. We'll keep it fairly cool too into the overnight hours. Partly cloudy skies, pretty consistent. We still do have lots to talk about in the final few days of summertime, football forecast, and a look at your weekend.
Sounds good. Kelly, thank you. Dr. Susan Menares, one of the nation's top public health officials for just 29 days. Today, she was on Capitol Hill following a controversial and abrupt end to her role as CDC director. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon breaks down how the political fight over vaccines appears to be at the center of it all.
My tenure as CDC director lasted 29 days.
Earlier this year, Dr. Susan Menares was nominated by the Trump administration and confirmed by the Senate to serve as CDC director. But less than a month after starting the new role,
Secretary Kennedy demanded two things of me that were inconsistent with my oath of office and the ethics required of a public official.
Those two things, Dr. Menares said, were to approve every new recommendation by the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, or ACIP, regardless of scientific evidence, and to dismiss career officials responsible for vaccine policy without cause.
He said if I was unwilling to do both, I should resign. I would not commit to that, and I believe it is the true reason I was fired.
In June, all 17 voting members of the ACIP were replaced by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to, quote, restore public trust in vaccines, according to HHS. But on Capitol Hill Wednesday, former CDC officials shared a different perspective.
We know vaccines save lives, yet all 17 voting members of ACIP were replaced with critics.
During the hearing, some Republicans did raise concerns about vaccine recommendations as well as the childhood vaccine schedule.
What is the medical, scientific reason and proof for giving a newborn a hepatitis B vaccine if the mom is Hep B negative? See, everybody's like blithely going along, we can't change the childhood. You're somehow terrible if you want to change the childhood. The burden is upon you and the people you wouldn't fire to prove to us that we need to give our 6-month-old a COVID vaccine and that we need to give our 1-day-old a hepatitis B vaccine.
Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
President Trump is suing the New York Times for $15 billion. He claims the paper and some of its reporters are trying to tear down his success and that they tried to manipulate public opinion of him during the presidential election. Our other D.C. correspondent, Rachel Knapp, shares the potential chilling effect this lawsuit could have on journalism.
In an 85-page complaint, President Donald Trump accuses the New York Times and some of their reporters of trying to defame him. He's suing for $15 billion. The suit says some of the Times reporting and books were published as an attempt to undermine him during the height of a presidential election. In the lawsuit, the president claims they have a desire for President Trump to fail politically and financially, and, quote, put bluntly, defendants baselessly hate President Trump in a deranged way. According to an article by the Times, a spokesman for the Times says in part, this lawsuit has no merit. It lacks any legitimate claims and instead is an attempt to stifle and discourage independent reporting.
The latest lawsuit against the Times is straight out of Trump's playbook of trying to use the legal system to intimidate the press. We've seen him sue ABC, he sued CBS, he sued the Des Moines Register, now he sued the Times. You know, this is something that he's done over and over again anytime that he's confronted with independent reporting that he doesn't like.
Trump has often criticized the press, Even on Tuesday, when responding to a question about the Attorney General going after hate speech, the president suggested his administration might prosecute journalists.
We'll probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate.
Political scientists say a chilling effect has already started after lawsuits with other news outlets were settled out of court.
Really concerning whenever the government goes after the mass media and the press, because they're the ones who are supposed to inform the public. And if they're afraid of the government, then we won't be getting all the information we need in order to hold our public officials accountable.
A free and independent press is so essential for all of us. Journalism is where people can get answers about what their elected officials are up to.
In Washington, Rachel Knapp, WZMQ 19 News.
Lawmakers in the State House are looking to approve new penalties for intentionally blocking roads, highways, or sidewalks. The measure upgrades what is now a minor civil infraction to a criminal misdemeanor, carrying possible jail time and a significant fine. Supporters say it's meant to keep traffic moving and ensure emergency vehicles can reach people in need. Opponents warn the change could discourage peaceful demonstrations and create uncertainty about what qualifies as an unlawful gathering, endangering peaceful and lawful protests.
Even on social media, this topic has, been around, and I would say 80-90% of those comments regarding this subject are in favor of this legislation. So I think we're in the right. I know we're in the right.
The proposal now moves to the state Senate for consideration. The Marquette County Board is in search of a new member after one commissioner stepped down. Commissioner John DePietro has officially resigned from his District 1 seat, which includes much of the city of Marquette. The county is now accepting applications for the position, which carries a 4-year term, and applicants must be registered voters in the district. The individual appointed will then have to run for the position in the 2026 election cycle.
Marquette County has a lot going on. We're by far the largest county in the UP and the biggest economy, and we have a lot going on. So hopefully we find some good candidates and we appoint someone that's going to make a difference and try to fill the shoes of Johnny DePietro.
You can find full eligibility requirements and application details at WZMQ19.com. Your first warning weather forecast is after the break. Plus, we'll have an update as veterans take part in the UP Honor Flight and are currently touring D.C. And later, mortgage rates are finally dipping, and it could save you thousands. But there's a catch. We'll have the details. We're back in 2 minutes.
Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
Welcome back, everyone. On this Wednesday, we're continuing to count down until the official start of fall. That's in just 5 days, where the amount of daylight will be not exactly equal with the daylight and the nighttime. But then once we clear Monday, we'll start getting the shorter days closer and closer to that winter solstice. So still take in everything you can with summertime. We did have those summertime temperatures today of 81, when the average is now 66. So we are still definitely trending above average, which is kind of a nice change as we start to transition very soon into the new season. But this is a look wider view here on some of the rain that's coming into the area. We do have that dense cloud cover kind of contained to the southern portions of the Upper Peninsula. Most of the showers and rumbles of thunder right now are happening down to Iron Mountain, and they've kind of stalled out here for a few different reasons. This is one of them here. Pretty gusty winds into the Iron Mountain area, sustained winds of 25 miles per hour. We have winds coming from the north associated with a bit of a high pressure, but then there is a low pressure system pushing up, so the winds are kind of competing against each other, and in turn the rain is kind of stalling out there. So just keep in mind of that. Maybe could see some localized flooding issues at that time, not really seeing the storms moving all too much, and likely going to stretch a little bit more into the evening hours. But the temperatures, though, still very reminiscent of summertime. 70 for Marquette, 73 out to Ironwood, even 75 out to Newberry, and a really strong 83 down to Menominee. But when these showers and storms eventually move to the southern portions down into that area, we should start to see that rain-cooled air really kick into play. So first warning weather futurecast for you here. This is the look at 10 o'clock. Most of it is out of here. Should see a few lingering raindrops to the area that the storms are at right now. And then your tomorrow morning time, not looking too bad either. Kind of more showers wanting to push up. Still a very major low pressure system down to the south. So we'll likely see the effects of it really into tomorrow morning. And then we might get a few more spotty showers for Friday, but then we'll really start to dry things out into the weekend. But for all of you stargazers, look up into the skies tonight. You might be able to see the viewing of the ISS, the International Space Station, at 10:32 p.m. It'll only be visible for 2 minutes, but if you look at the maximum height of 26 degrees, which is, if you can kind of picture it on the horizon, kind of 2 fists, that's about 20 degrees. And again, west-northwest to northwest, best of luck to you, but is up in the sky, visible for a brief amount of time. And of course, Friday Night Lights, looking forward to the high school games this Friday. We have Menominee at Calumet, Kingsford at Negaunee, and Escanaba at Sault Ste. Marie. All these games will be very comfortable, still seeing that sunshine. We'll start to dry things out. Can't rule out a brief drop or two, and it'll be a bit breezy for Calumet. But still, this is a look at partially the rest of your summertime and a look into fall already. We round off summertime with some cooler temperatures heading into the weekend, and we'll slowly get some lower 70s in there before staying nice and seasonal for the start of a new season.
Kelly, thanks again. Right now, a group of Upper Peninsula veterans is in our nation's capital, seeing the monuments built in their honor. UP Honor Flight Mission 27 took 80 veterans to Washington, D.C. Throughout the day, they've made stops at the Vietnam Memorial Wall, the World War II Memorial, the Navy Memorial, and the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The honor flight is scheduled to return to the Delta County Airport around 9:45 p.m., and the public is encouraged to give them a warm welcome home. Our own Andrew Hands is on the trip with them and will tell us some of their stories tomorrow at 6 and 11 p.m. Coming up next, there could be some upcoming changes for vaccination guidelines. We'll have the latest after this.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. It will be slightly cheaper to borrow money. The Federal Reserve announced today to cut interest rates by a 1/4 percentage point, bringing lending rates between 4 and 4.25%. It's the first cut in 9 months. That means interest rates for credit card debt, car loans, and mortgage rates will likely fall as well. Jen Sullivan looks at what this means for home buyers.
Some good news for potential homebuyers. Mortgage rates have begun to dip, which means it costs less to borrow money.
I think there are some consumers who have been priced out.
Lawrence Yoon with the National Association of Realtors says high mortgage rates have shut out many potential buyers, but that's beginning to change.
Buyers are in a better negotiating power.
Wednesday, the Federal Reserve announced a rate cut of a 1/4 percentage point, bringing lending rates down between 4 and 4.25%.
The moderation in growth largely reflects a slowdown in consumer spending. Activity in the housing sector remains weak.
But that doesn't mean mortgage interest rates will automatically drop. As of last week, interest rates for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage are at 6.35%, according to Freddie Mac. Back in January, rates were higher than 7%. Reducing your interest rate by even just 1 percentage point can save you thousands, depending on how much you pay for your home, according to Rocket Mortgage. But home prices remain high. The latest data shows the median existing home sale price was just over $422,000 in July, according to the Realtors Group.
One can never predict when it will spike, but certainly any crash, that is out of the question given that we have historically low mortgage default rate.
If you are in the market to buy a home, Yoon recommends getting approved for a mortgage now and figuring out your budget. If you're looking to sell your home, attractive landscaping, slight repairs and remodeling go a long way, and price your home competitively. Overpricing could mean your home sits on the market for a while.
A new vaccine advisory committee assembled by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. meets tomorrow and Friday to review possible changes. Christiane Benavidez got reaction from parents and doctors in one Florida community.
Please lay down the baby.
Marcella Farah's 2-year-old daughter Sophia has all her vaccines.
I know.
Today she got her flu shot.
Everybody's a little bit more confused, but I think a lot of people are still very strong in their own beliefs. And at least from my bubble, the people are still getting vaccines.
At this Fort Myers, Florida pediatrician's office, patients are asking more questions since Florida announced it would roll back some school vaccine mandates, including for the chickenpox and hepatitis B. It's something mother of 3 Marida Smith said she agrees with.
Ultimately, your stance is that the parents should decide.
Yes. I'm the legal guardian for them, right? So who else is supposed to decide?
Still, her daughter got the HPV shot.
We're kind of in a space where we're just trying to take all the information in, and we haven't been one way or the other yet.
First-time father Brandon Gonsalves opted not to vaccinate his newborn for hepatitis B, which the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends be done at birth.
What are your plans for future vaccines?
We're not too sure yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Open.
A survey by the Kaiser Family Foundation and the Washington Post found that while 1 in 6 parents are rejecting vaccine recommendations, vaccines remain popular, with about 80% of parents saying they should be mandated in schools. Are we going to see more sick kids in Florida?
You've got to expect to.
Dr. David Butler believes some parents are choosing not to vaccinate because of mistrust and misinformation.
They bring their views into the room and they have their minds made up before they come in.
You think that parents are not listening to medical advice?
A lot of times, yes. Yeah.
And what goes through your mind as a medical professional?
It's difficult because me, myself, all of my colleagues, all we want to do is provide the best care we can for your child.
Now, when we come back, Easton Zivnaska of Northern Scales Reptiles educates us on another exotic animal. Creature Feature is coming up after the break.
Is it possible to maintain friendships in divided times while on opposite ends of the political spectrum? We revisit 2 friends who are making it work.
And monkey see, monkey do. The other link we've found that connects us and our primate cousins that isn't just shared DNA. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Welcome back, everyone. Easton is here with another animal. Actually, he's got two today. Easton, you've been on something of a frog/toad kick lately, I feel like.
Yeah, I thought, I've done so many reptiles and arachnids, but I hadn't done many amphibians, and I didn't really do justice to the axolotls, so I'm like, well, I'll cover everything else a little better than them. But so today for you guys, I have yellow-spotted climbing toads. These guys are a little bit of a newer discovered species. They were discovered in the 1990s, I believe. They come from Thailand, Borneo, Malaysia, and Sumatra. These guys are also my boss's favorite amphibian. He can't stop telling me about them. These guys don't look much like their name. I mean, I know they say yellow-spotted climbing toads. Their feet are a little orange, and maybe they get a little yellow in the back toes here, and their eyes have a greenish yellow. But the females, which unfortunately I don't have one here for you guys, the females have this green pigment throughout their whole body, these yellow with black ring spots all over them, and they're about double the size of the males, which is incredible. I haven't seen one in person yet, but I've seen photos, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I definitely need to get one of those for the show, but sooner or later we'll get one for you guys.
That sounds good to me. Yeah, tell us more about their climbing abilities, Easton. They definitely have some special feet/toes on them.
Yeah, so these guys got a little more so when you see a toad, they got more bulky kind of limbs, unlike a frog. But these guys have kind of more I want to say primate toes, where they can grip stuff. And if you watch them crawl around, he's actually gripping my finger right now. If you watch them crawl around, they'll kind of grab it and walk kind of like a lemur or a baboon, or I'm trying to think of, or like a gibbon, if anyone knows those kind of monkeys or primates. And it's the weirdest thing to see. It's usually you see a toad or frog jump around a lot, but these guys like to do a crawl where they grab a branch and they move up like that with their back legs. Oh, sorry, I'm swinging around, buddy. He's like, stop it.
Yeah, excellent. Tell us, where did you say they were from, Easton?
Thailand, Sumatra, Malaysia, Borneo. It's more like this really dense, humid jungle area with a lot of river and I want to say bogs and swamps. I'm not very familiar with the area. I've seen pictures though. I know that there's a lot of river connections and there's a lot of wetlands. They're in more of the areas that are going to have a lot more kind of wood-based plants that are basically going to grow with a wooden stem, lots of branches, lots of stuff to hide and climb on. maybe little cliff sides or riverbed sides that have like a lot of plant growth so they can hide in there, those areas looking for mainly inverts, but they can eat small geckos and stuff like that, full grown, especially the females.
And I know you got the gloves on again today, Easton.
Yeah.
Tell us what the reasoning is for that.
So they're not poisonous, so no one has to worry. I'm not gonna get poison on me again. But
Again.
This is more for their safety. Even though they're toads and they have more of a leathery, more thicker skin, kind of like like leather. I was about to say it said leather twice, but with that, they still have semi-permeable skin and they absorb stuff really easily. Now, I know my hands are clean, but I still have human oils on me, which I can't get rid of.
Right.
I'm a human. I produce them all the time. And those human oils can make them sick. It can make it hard for them to breathe, and it actually shows sometimes areas of nausea for them, or like what we see as nausea at least. So the gloves are a protective layer between me and him. I got them wet on the wet paper towel and their thing, and I picked them both up, and now I'm just holding one. The other guy's a little more jumpy. This guy's a little more on the chill side.
He's trying to be a little shy right now. He's got massive eyes too. Tell us about those very briefly. We are running short on time.
Oh yeah, so that's just for looking, so their vision's all the way up front. They can't really see behind them, but anything in that front view, if within like 120 degrees there is gonna be able for them to see. But I guess for one last cool fact, because I talk so much about their place and whatnot, the males, being smaller, do piggyback rides than the females. They'll grab on and they'll just hold on and they'll have the females do all the work climbing around.
That's funny. That is a great fact to end it on, Easton. Thank you so much for coming back on.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We'll have our final look at weather after this.
Welcome back. We're seeing some increasing cloud cover right here on our 19 News Sky Cam of downtown Marquette, kind of courtesy of these little storms making its way through the Iron Mountain area. Should get on out of here by the overnight. And for tonight, we're looking at temperatures into the upper 50s and lower 60s with the cloud cover continuing. And it'll be a bit chilled for tomorrow, even headed into the weekend, but we'll start to get some more sunshine back as well as a few showers mixed in there. But I'll have details on your forecast as we head through the rest of summer coming up tonight.
Kelly, thanks again. And finally tonight, this week, the Corewell Health Mobile Mammography Unit is helping women in rural parts of the UP take charge of their health. Following a stop at the Keweenaw Bay Indian Community, professionals screened women at the Island Resort and Casino in Harris today. In partnership with the Intertribal Council of Michigan, the mobile unit provides free early breast cancer detection services for women ages 40 to 75. Each year, Corewell Health screens 60 to 70 women in Delta and Menominee counties.
It's the most common cancer in women, and earlier detection is the best prevention. So if you're getting your annual mammogram done every year, hopefully if you do have an issue and there is something caught, it's caught early and your prognosis is much better.
Tomorrow, the mobile unit is outside the Hannahville Health Center from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll see you all later tonight.